We'll call the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners to order. This is Tuesday, June 11, 2024. A couple of housekeeping items. We'll note that the meeting is being live streamed and also being recorded. And if you have any type of a cell phone, if you'd be kind enough to put it on silent or vibrate, we'd appreciate your doing that. We always start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Also, we ask that you remain standing for a moment of silence. We would particularly ask that you keep the family of Mr. Joe DiNardo in your thoughts and prayers. Joe was a longtime employee here at the courthouse in the maintenance department. A real gentleman, very talented man, but above all, he was very well liked here at the county government. He passed away suddenly on Friday, so our thoughts and prayers go out to Joe's family and all of his friends. But we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Commissioner Sonata, could you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll have a brief moment of silence, please. Thank you. Vanessa, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Sinata?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here. We'll note that our good friend and colleague, Commissioner Kennedy, remains on medical leave, but he was in the building today, and he looks great. So we anxiously await his return, and but we're just happy that he's making progress. But two of us constitute a quorum, so we are able to conduct our business today. We always, during our meetings, have two opportunities for public comment, both in a few moments as well as prior to adjournment. You're welcome to speak both times, one of the two times, or if you're just here to listen, that's equally fine. We ask that your comments be related to county government matters, please. Next on the agenda, pardon me, we always allow time for row officer reports and comments if they wish to join us, and today none of them are here. So that does take us to public comment. Debbie, anything so far this morning? I'll give you my packet when we're done. Thank you. Hearing no other public comment, we move down to fiscal and contractual in our agenda. By the way, all of these documents are available if anybody wishes to see them. We have the warrant register dated Tuesday, June 4. Whoops, I stand correct. Yes, it is dated Tuesday, June 4. Excuse me. So give my colleagues some time. Chris, if you want to look these over. And whenever you're ready, I could accept a motion to accept the warrant register.
It's a very short list this week, and I have no issues with it. I move that we accept it.
Thank you, and I'll second your motion, Chris. And if there are no other questions, we can do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thanks, Vanessa. We also have in our packet the minutes of the June 4 Commissioners meeting. Again, Chris, I'll give you some time to look them over, and whenever you're ready, I could take a motion to approve the minutes.
I hope we accept the minutes.
Thank you, sir. I will second your motion. Do you have any questions or concerns?
No.
Thank you. We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank Well, Debbie, you don't have Hayden with you today.
No.
Okay. I saw his name in the minutes and I looked up.
He's actually going to different things with different people.
I see.
To get an understanding of everything, so
Good.
he might be back.
Great, we would welcome him.
I
I
didn't
was,
see him yet today, so.
I was afraid maybe we frightened him off last week. Well, thank you. We have two documents that have come in under written communications. The first is from Frank B. Taylor Engineering, based here in Lawrence County. It is on behalf of Benaiah Haig, who resides at 3390 Portersville Road in Perry Township. This is a notice to inform that Benaiah Haig intends to submit a notice of intent for a new national pollutant discharge elimination system general permit for discharges from small flow treatment facilities, as well as a notice of intent for a new water quality management general permit for small flow treatment facilities. These documents will be submitted to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. Project description: a single residence sewage treatment plant to replace the malfunctioning septic system serving the existing home on the property located at 3390 Portersville Road in Perry Township. The second document we have received comes from Mr. Gary Osterreider, and I hope I pronounced his last name correctly. Mr. Osterreider notifies us that he intends to submit a PAG-04 Notice of Intent Permit application to amend the current individual NPDES permit to a PAG-04 permit classification to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. The address of this site is 894 Old Ash Road in Plain Grove Township. This permit allows the discharge of treated sewage to surface waters of the Commonwealth and/or construction of the facility. And again, the proposed activities will take place in Plain Grove Township, Lawrence County. These are the two documents that have come in the last week. May I have a motion to accept them?
I move we accept the documents.
Chris, I thank you. And do you have any questions or concerns? Thank you. We can do, with my second, we can do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Vanessa. Next on the agenda would be commissioner reports. Mr. Sonata, you get to go first today.
All right, thank you, Chairman Vogler. We had actually a very busy week last week, right through the weekend. I'll let you comment more of our meeting we had up in Franklin. My only comment on that is, and I do want the people to know, Chairman, that that was your last meeting as the chairman. And reporting back to Lawrence County, members up there, we're very thankful for your years of service up there. And you got a great send-off last Friday. So I think, for the record, I think people need to know that you served that commission well. And I know I'm going to be going on the board, but we are still going. You're still going to be. We're still going to ask you for some advice, because I know some of the fellow commissioners up there respected you for your work that you did the last 4 years. So I just want to put that out for the record, that you can elaborate on when you have your time.
Translation is they're glad to get rid of it. No, I apologize.
Okay. But I actually want to talk about a few things I actually did this weekend. And I think that it was a very active weekend in the county. And I'll start off, and I actually stopped up at Scott Township. They had a community day out there for the fire department. And that's a little new territory for me. I didn't represent that area in the legislature, but I knew the fire chief and the firemen out there. So it was nice to see more of a craft show out there. And they try to stay active for the community. So I had a chance to do that. But then I actually went down to Newcastle High School. And I'd like to just commend Marcus Carter. He was a standout community athlete at Newcastle. And I think it's been going about 10 years since he graduated. He's still a member of our community. And he hosted a community event there. And I thought it was so nice for what he did with the bounce houses and having the young kids in the community come there. And he did this on his own and with the help of the school district and everything else. But to see a former athlete like that come back and put something on in our community, so that's why I wanted to stop and see that. And I had a good chance to talk with him. I'm very impressed with him. And he's giving back to the community. So I want a special shout out to Marcus. But another big event I got to do was the Renova Orchestra out in Pulaski Township. It was at the Villa Maria. And they've been performing concerts. They still got more concerts this week. And in the past, I wasn't really able to make it to that. A lot of times I was gone. And when Judy Bruce, who's the president, invited me to give a welcome probably about 5 months ago. And I said I would do that. And I did that. And I was just so impressed. There was youths around the world that came here in Lawrence County. They do this every year. This was the 10th time. And I know the county has supported it in the past. And it just, I was so impressed. These are 18 to 25-year-old students. And I had a chance to talk to them afterwards at the reception they had. And it's just amazing the talent that they have. And the people, they had a very large crowd. I said that was, I think, the biggest crowd that they've seen. So I just let people know that they're going to still be performing this week around Lawrence County. Some are smaller venues, bigger venues. There's 26 of them. And people may not know Beverly Zona, who was a great leader in our community. That was her son who directed it. He came up from Louisiana. So I know that Debbie Newspaper did a really nice story on that a few weeks ago. It just, if people haven't seen that, I recommend sometime to see it. And I know that they're anxious to want to try to bring it back again next year, and I think it's something we need to do. But it's just, and to see these people come here in Lawrence County, I mean, this just doesn't happen a lot, and the talent that's there for the arts. So that was my Saturday. Sunday, I just want to throw this out there, and I told Chairman Vogler, Joe, you know, I bought a bike a couple of weeks ago, my first bike since high school, and I'm looking forward to using the bike. But, we own multiple trails here in Lawrence County, Savage, which I'm planning on doing, and I decided on Sunday, since I didn't have a whole lot scheduled, that I wanted to take a ride downtown Newcastle. So I went on the trail that is goes along the river downtown Newcastle. I also did the bike trails around the city of Newcastle. So I mean, it's actually very nice. And I want to just commend Amy McKinney and our office, our development office here, because the shape that it's in. I know that was a commitment the county made to do that. I don't think a lot of people in Lawrence County and Newcastle know that it's there. We got to get that message out, because it was very clean and well taken care of. And that was the first time I had a chance to actually do it with the bike. So I got the chance to see that. Also, and I noticed that Councilman Eric Ritter adopted that. I'm told that he helps clean it up and keep it the way it is. So I want to commend Councilman Ritter for his efforts. And I think New Vision's name was on the little sign as well. So I just throw that out there. That's our future, I think, downtown. Part of the future downtown is green space, bikes, and working along that river. I think that's something I know the city's interested in, and I think it's something, we want to keep looking at, keep our share of that, because we own that property down there. And I think it's so important. So I do throw that out there, because you know what? I didn't realize how beautiful it was until I took that ride. I walked down the path and along the river. I mean, it reminded me of McConnell's Mills. It actually reminded me of McConnell's Mills right in downtown Newcastle. So these are some of the things that we do have downtown. And we want to get the word out to people. And I know we own the path, or out Mahoney Township. What do we call that one again?
Savage?
No, not the bike trail. Our new park we got.
Quaker Falls.
Quaker Falls, I should have, yeah. So, do we have a trail there, Chairman?
Just a small one.
Okay,
Right now, I think eventually they'd like to expand it.
okay. Just curious, because I still haven't made.
Not a bicycle,
No, okay.
just a hiking track.
Yeah, I haven't made my way, and now that hopefully things, once they slow down, I do want to get out there as well. So I want to wrap it up, but that's what I end up doing. And I throw all that out there just because a lot of times people say there's nothing to do in Lawrence County. Let me assure you, there are plenty of things to do. This upcoming weekend, there's going to be a lot of activities, whether it's downtown Newcastle, Cascade Park, the Juneteenth celebration, I think the Pride Festival downtown, their second annual And there's a few other things I noticed already popped on schedule. So, I mean, it's important that people patronize and do these type of events because we want to see it grow. I know the city wants it to grow, but there's so much going on. And shout out to Elwood City. Wonder Wednesday kicks off this Wednesday. And that's a great event down there. They get the whole community come for that. So that's my wrap up. And
Did you want to mention the library dinner?
oh, yes, I'll briefly mention, I'll let you elaborate on that as well. There was just so much, and I do want to talk about the library dinner. You know what? It was a huge success. A wonderful speech made by Ursula Payne, and all the whole community coming together, all those who volunteered to raise money for the library. And a special shout out to Andrew Henley and his staff and the board of the library. They're very committed to the community. And you know, I was impressed with the whole dinner and just to see how far it's come within the last year. And I know we've made a substantial investment through the county to show our support for the library for $200,000. And they took the ball and they want to keep doing this. They do so much. So yeah, and I'll let you comment as well, Chairman. So I'm done.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Well, just two things. Chris mentioned that both he and I attended the Northwest Regional Planning Commission meeting on Friday of last week up in Venango County. And yeah, I am wrapping up my role as board chair. I will be replaced by a good friend of ours from Venango County, Commissioner Chip Abramovic. Chip will be the chair starting on July 1st. And then I'll be stepping off that board and we will be taking action at an upcoming commissioners meeting to appoint Commissioner Sanada to be the county's public sector representative on the board. Later in today's meeting, we have on the agenda the reappointment of our private sector board representative, Mr. Tom McKinley of Wilmington Township. He's been an active board member. But we're blessed. Jill Foys is the executive director of the Northwest Commission. She's a top-notch professional. She has a great staff. And that organization is in very, very good hands. And then, yes, that evening, Friday evening, we did attend. Mr. Vanasco and his wife joined us as well. The library dinner at the cathedral, and it was a first-class affair. Very nice turnout. They had at least 250 people, I think, attend. Nick Versilla covered that function. You weren't there, were you? I saw Nick, but boy, you missed a nice event. But I know you can't be everywhere. But it was a very nice get-together. We wish the library continued success. I do want to remind everyone that the adjournment of this meeting, the board of the retirement board will meet for their quarterly meeting. So it'll be myself, Commissioner Sanada, as well as Controller Prestipine and Treasurer Rapone will be here. That meeting is open to the public. So thank you. Under new business, Mike Grippo is with us. Mike, good morning, and it's always good to see you. Good morning. We appreciate the supplemental document that you always give. You've got a couple of contracts you'd like us to consider.
Yes.
The first one, Vanessa, what number do we?
125.
Thank you. This is number 125. This is I believe it's a renewal with the Children's Advocacy Center of Lawrence County.
Yeah, all these contracts are renewal and they're all in-home providers. And they're all been providers that's been with us for many years. Okay. So if you flip over the page to Children's Advocacy Center, right out the second column, it says state/county. That's what the split is. What the state pays 80%, the county pays 20%. You can see there's no increase from the last 2 or 3 years in their rates. So the rates stayed the same. Yeah, I mean, we use all these services often. That's why I have a lot of these. Instead of head counts, I have multiple children because they're mostly, they're not providers that they stay overnight. They're just services that they provide.
And I assume that number fluctuates.
Yeah.
Almost perhaps daily.
Daily, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and some of them have waiting lists and we're just, we're ready to send them, but that's the Children's Advocacy Center.
Since we only have 3 today, do you mind if we take these one at a time, Chris?
Sure.
So let me see if Chris has any questions on the first one, number 125.
Sounds pretty straightforward.
Would you wish to make a motion to approve it?
Yeah, I move we approve this motion.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Chris. And I'll second your motion for proposed resolution 125. Any other discussion? Anything else, Mike, before we take a vote?
Nope.
Okay, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Proposed resolution 126, you had communicated with us that you may have a request for us to table, but I'll see what your comments are.
Yes, I asked to table this until we get more information, and then we can bring it back up on the agenda, and I'll let Vanessa know when we'll put it back on.
That's a fair request. Would you want to assign the number today? What's your preference, Vanessa?
We can.
Okay, so we'll name this one 126, which again, the request is being made to table, but do you have any other questions over and above that?
No, I want to make the motion to table this resolution.
Thank you, I appreciate that, and I will second your motion to table. We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you, Vanessa. And then, Mike, number 127 is Lawrence County Social Services.
Yeah, which is LCAP, and it's also a renewal in home. If you flip to the last page on the breakdown, again, this one is not an increase at all to the county. And it's split 80-20 state and county. Before, up until we had to do addendum last year, it was under the same program under Lawrence County Social Services. But the state required us to break up all 3 of those programs, Brainwise, Making Parent in a Pleasure, and Nurturing Parent, into each own contract. So each one of those, where you see the rate of 75,000, 17,000, and 155, each one of those, they can't take money from this program and give to the other. So each one of them stands on its own for the amount of money that's allocated to that program.
Appreciate
But
it.
there's no increase.
Right, and so noted, and we appreciate your giving us that background. Mr. Sonata, do you have any questions of Mr. Grippa?
No.
Anything else on this one, Mike?
No?
Could I have a motion then to approve proposed resolution 127?
I move we approve resolution 127.
I'll second your motion. If there are no other questions, Mike, you're okay for us to move ahead?
Yes, yes.
We'll do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes?
motion carries.
Thank you. Well, good, Mike. Short and sweet today.
Yeah, I liked it that way.
Yeah, me too, but no, it's always good to have you here. Chances are we'll see you next week.
Yeah,
Okay, wonderful.
all right, thank you.
Thanks for your time, Mike.
Keep up the good work, Mike, and we'd like when you say there was no increase.
Yeah, we try our best.
Thank you for you and John's negotiating.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Have a great day, Mike.
Have a good weekend, yeah.
You too.
Bye.
Debbie, when you get the packet, I know you had to step out. The proposed resolution for Cray Youth and Family Services, Mr. Grippo asked us to table that. They need to get further documentation. And I wrote on the resolution that it is tabled. So I just wanted to call that to your attention. Next on the agenda, listing under board appointments, as we noted earlier, the term of Mr. Tom McKinley of Wilmington Township. Mr. McKinley serves on the board of the Northwest Regional Planning Commission. His term is due to expire at the end of this month. He has asked to be reappointed, and the Northwest Commission Board at its meeting last Friday also voted to request the reappointment of Mr. McKinley. So this proposed resolution number 128 would reappoint Thomas McKinley of 1175 Fayette New Wilmington Road in Wilmington Township to continue to serve as the private sector representative to the Northwest Regional Planning Commission. It's a 2-year term taking effect on July 1 of this year and expiring on June 30 of 2026. Chris, do you have any comments or concerns?
No, I think Mr. McKinley is very dedicated. He's shown up at every meeting that I've participated in, and look forward to him serving again. We need more people like him in the communities who puts their effort out, so comes, and that's what's important. So I move that we reappoint him.
I thank you, and I'll second your motion. We'll, and as we noted earlier, within the next week or two, we'll be taking formal action to appoint you as the county's public sector representative to that board effective July 1. But today we have Mr. McKinley. This is Resolution 128. It's been moved, and I've offered the second. We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. We have a couple of budget amendments, the first being number 129, Resolution 129. And these amendments tie in, at least in part, with some of the ARPA funds that we had earlier committed, as well as some recommendations that have come to us from the county controller's office as well as the county treasurer's office regarding some fiscal matters. Resolution 129 is a budget amendment that would take, add a $4 million figure for the prior year balance general fund revenue account line item. And the controller is recommending that we take $2 million of that, earmark it towards the operating reserve fund, general fund expense account, and then also $2 million towards the capital expenditure fund, general fund expense account. Mr. Vanasco, have I explained this appropriately?
I think very well, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sanada, do you have any questions or concerns?
No, I think it's pretty straightforward.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion then for Resolution 129?
I move that we support Resolution 129.
I'll second your motion. Assuming there's no other discussion, we can take a roll call.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you. Proposed Resolution 130. This involves some movement that we have to make regarding some unrestricted ARPA funds. We had voted on these approximately, I believe, a month or so ago. And we're looking at, according to this document, the prior year balance on the general fund revenue account line item for this purpose was $348,835. It's being earmarked as follows. $250,000 will go towards the Lawrence County Economic Development Corporation's general fund expense account line item. This was for, this is where I might need your help. They approached us. It's a site
Preparation or
site assessment. Is that your recollection, gentlemen?
Yes.
They want to hire a consultant that will work in conjunction with their organization and I believe our planning department, as well as all of the municipalities, to identify sites that are developable, if I'm not mistaken, for economic growth. And we earmarked $250,000 from ARPA money for that purpose. Under miscellaneous allocations, we are earmarking $70,000 to go towards that line item. And then you may recall we voted to commit, was it 100 or 100? It was 100,000 to the Humane Society. Is that correct?
Right, think it was about 32,000 comes from the one fund and 72 was from the other.
You're very close. The unrestricted amount towards the Humane Society would be $28,835. You were very close. And then the 72 or 71
Right,
was from restricted ARPA dollars.
yes.
So this is basically a procedural amendment to satisfy the controller's office so that we have the dollars in the right line item.
Allows us to pay the bills.
Yes, it does. So again, the controller's office has requested that we vote on this. This is proposed resolution 130. Mr. Sanada, do you have any concerns or questions?
We've already passed this and done it, it's just we want to do it for technical reasons, so I move that we accept this.
Thank you, sir, and I will second your motion. And we'll ask for a roll call.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Motion carries.
Thank you, Vanessa. Then proposed resolution 131, and again, this is a request of the controller's office for purposes to appropriate the dollars in the line items to which they need to be appropriated. We are taking I'm looking at the fourth line that says increasing supplies and operating expenses, general fund expense account. But there's no dollar figure there.
57, yeah, it's on the back of your sheet.
Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. Yes, 57,916. Let me write that down. Thank you for catching that for me.
I'll add that to the resolution.
Okay, $57,916. Thank you. If I'm reading this correctly, and Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, we're looking at the line item of COVID mitigation grant general fund revenue account. And we're splitting that out in three ways. We're earmarking $6,776 towards the LCEDC general fund expense account. Then we're earmarking $16,181 towards the equipment general fund expense account. And finally, the dollar figure we just noted, the $57,916 towards supplies and operating expenses, general fund expense account line item. Again, this helps the controller have these dollars in the appropriate line items. Commissioner, before I ask Chris, Joe, we've covered that.
Yeah, very well.
Okay, thank you. Chris, do you have any concerns or questions?
No, I'm going to move that we accept this resolution.
Okay, this is number 131. I will second your motion and ask for a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. We have one administrative transfer. The courts are asking for a $100 transfer from their contingency into that of association dues. May I have a motion to approve this requested transfer?
I move we move this request for transfer.
Thank you, and I'll second your motion, Mr. Sanada. Any concerns or questions? We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Motion carries.
Thank you, Vanessa. Under announcements, the Board of Commissioners will meet a week from today on Tuesday, June 18 at 10 a.m. in this room, and that meeting is open to the public. Following this meeting, probably in about 10 minutes or so, we will convene the Retirement Board, which holds its quarterly public meeting in this room, and that is open to the public. Tomorrow, June 12, at 12 noon, the Lawrence County Planning Commission will hold its monthly public meeting right down the street at the Newcastle Union Station Craft Distillery here in the city of Newcastle. Debbie, I assume the planning office, you're aware of this meeting tomorrow, okay. And then next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow, June 19, it is a federal holiday, and the courthouse will be closed that day in observance of the Juneteenth federal holiday. Once again, that's a week from tomorrow. That takes us to public comments. And Debbie, any questions that you might have?
Thank you.
Thank you, and I'll have this packet for you. Closing comments from Mr. Sanada.
Mr. Chairman, I think it was all straightforward today, and we're looking forward to the return of Commissioner Kennedy in the very near future. He looked great today, and but we told him to get yourself 100%. We don't want him to do anything. We want him 100% when he returns.
That's right. And he's well on his way.
Yep.
And we're glad of that. Well, thank you, Chris. Joe or Vanessa, anything perhaps we've overlooked?
No.
Okay, thank you both. Thanks for all your help in getting everything ready for this meeting. Again, we'll be meeting here in about 5 or 10 minutes for retirement board. May I have an adjournment motion,
I
please?
move we adjourn.
I'll second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye, opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Bill's gonna, and then Bill, can you maybe come back in 5 or 10 minutes?